And the witness blocked from answering questions today. And tonight we have new reporting here. The person on the inside, the White House official on that call with Ukraine. The whistleblower saying that person then spoke with him, describing the president's call as, quote, crazy and frightening. Also tonight, troop movement already as President Trump defends his sudden decision to withdraw U.S. troops from a key part of Syria after a phone call with Turkey's president. And tonight, Turkey's president now signaling an attack against the Kurds, our U.S. allies, in fighting ISIS. The headline late today, the first mother and father sentenced together in the college admissions cheating scandal. How long they'll serve now in federal prison. And after Felicity Huffman tonight, the prosecutor and the rare interview, his message now to actress Lori Loughlin and what she could face. The arrest in Dallas tonight, the hunt for others after a key witness in the Amber Geiger trial is shot and killed, what police have now revealed. Here in New York City, the first vaping death, this time a 17-year-old. The CDC tonight now alerting airline passengers after a flight attendant possibly exposed them to hepatitis on several flights. And the other aviation headline, authorities tonight looking at this video obtained by Flyer Talk on a jet bridge. Members of a flight crew in a fight. And tonight, the moment seen by millions. Ellen and former President George W. Bush at a Cowboys game. What happened on social media after? And tonight, Ellen and the Bushes now responding.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And we begin with that breaking headline. The White House just a short time ago raising the stakes in the impeachment inquiry, sending a letter to Speaker Pelosi. Tonight, the White House declaring it will not cooperate with the impeachment investigation. And they explain why. And all this comes on the same day the administration suddenly blocked a key witness from testifying, the U.S. ambassador to the European Union who had been working behind the scenes on Ukraine. And take a look at this tonight. The new polling on all of this, 58% of Americans now support opening the impeachment inquiry. But what was this late move by the White House today, this letter just a short time ago? ABC's Mary Bruce leads us off from the Hill tonight.
Tonight, the White House declaring they will not cooperate with the impeachment inquiry, writing in a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that the investigation is dangerous, illegitimate, and a violation of fundamental fairness. It comes just hours after the State Department blocked a key witness from testifying just minutes before he was scheduled to appear. U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, a no-show.
The failure to produce this witness, the failure to produce these documents, we consider yet additional strong evidence of obstruction.
On Twitter, the president insisted he would love to send Ambassador Sondland to testify, but unfortunately, he would be testifying before a totally compromised kangaroo court. Trump's top defenders quick to echo his words.
What we see in this impeachment is a kangaroo court, and Chairman Schiff is acting like a malicious Captain Kangaroo.
Text messages turned over to House investigators show Ambassador Sondland worked behind the scenes to facilitate the president's push to get Ukraine to investigate his 2020 rival, Joe Biden. When Trump withheld $400 million in military aid, America's top diplomat in Ukraine told Sondland it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign. But Sondland stood up for Trump, responding, the president has been crystal clear, no quid pro quos of any kind. But then added, I suggest we stop the back and forth by text. In a statement, Sondland's lawyer says he is profoundly disappointed that he will not be able to testify today, noting the ambassador had agreed to appear voluntarily and had already traveled from Brussels to Washington.
Mr. Secretary, Washington instruct Ambassador Sondland not to testify.
Thank you all. Good morning.
Democrats accuse the State Department of stonewalling.
If there is no wrongdoing here, isn't that all the more reason why he should be allowed to come up and testify and just answer all of your questions?
Yeah, there is no wrongdoing. The two guys on the call, no quid pro quo whatsoever.
Mary Bruce with us live on the Hill again tonight. And Mary, as you reported there, the White House late today declaring that they will not cooperate with this impeachment inquiry. So where do House Democrats go from here?
Well, David, just moments ago, Democrats issued a subpoena for Ambassador Sondland, but they are going to have to make a decision. Do they try to fight this out in the courts or instead go straight to impeachment? We know Democrats want to move quickly here. Some say they feel they already have sufficient evidence. And David, Democrats have made it very clear they feel the president is obstructing, and that could be another article of impeachment.
David.
Mary Bruce leading us off again tonight. Mary, thank you. And there is one more note on all of this tonight. New reporting here on what triggered the impeachment investigation. The insider at the White House, the official who listened in on the president's call with Ukraine, the whistleblower saying that person then described the call as, quote, crazy and frightening. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Tonight, ABC News has learned a White House official who listened in on the president's phone call with the president of Ukraine described it as crazy and frightening. This according to the whistleblower at the heart of the impeachment inquiry.
It's perfect. The call was perfect.
It was on that call President Trump told the Ukrainian president, "I would like you to do us a favor," and asked him to investigate a debunked conspiracy theory about Democratic emails, and also Joe Biden and his son. According to the whistleblower, the White House official on the call reached out to him the next day and was, quote, visibly shaken. The whistleblower says the official told him the call was completely lacking in substance related to national security. The whistleblower documented the conversation in a 2-page memo and turned it over to the intelligence community's inspector general.
So let's get to John Karl live at the White House tonight as well. And John, what are you learning from your sources inside the White House? Are they trying to figure out who this person is on the inside who spoke with the whistleblower?
Well, David, the president has made it perfectly clear that he wants to know who was talking to the whistleblower. He's even suggested that person is effectively a spy who should be severely punished. But here's the thing. I've spoken to several senior White House officials about this. None of them say they know of any effort to actually find out who that person was. In fact, I just spoke to a senior official a few minutes ago and said that they have no evidence that there is any effort to find out who was talking to the whistleblower, at least not for now, despite the fact that the president clearly would like to know who that person is.
All right, John Karl with us. John, thank you. Now to fast-moving developments after President Trump suddenly decided to pull out U.S. troops from a key region of Syria, which would leave Kurdish fighters who were our allies in the fight against ISIS to fend for themselves against Turkey. Tonight, Turkish troops are already gathering at the Syrian border, ready to move in against those Kurdish fighters. And this evening, the Turkish president has indicated an operation is imminent. He's also been invited to the White House. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell from Istanbul.
Tonight, Turkey moving its war machine into place. Long convoys of military hardware and special forces up to the border with Syria, setting the stage for a military invasion targeting the Kurds. President Trump now facing a fierce backlash for pulling back American troops straight after a phone call with President Erdogan of Turkey. President Trump accused of abandoning a key partner in the fight against ISIS.
At some point, we have to bring our people back home, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Is it a firm decision, sir?
It's always a firm decision.
The president standing by his decision, today insisting in a tweet, "In no way have we abandoned the Kurds, who are special people and wonderful fighters. We're helping the Kurds financially/weapons." But without the close protection from US troops at the border, Kurdish forces are far more vulnerable to a much stronger Turkish army. For years, we've followed the Kurds in their fight against ISIS, here battling street by street to liberate the city of Raqqa.
That the US coalition is working with, they are the foot soldiers. We're moving up to their forward base.
Sozdar was the Kurdish woman leading a band of soldiers. No body armor, no tanks or Humvees. That very night, she was killed in battle. One of 11,000 Kurds who paid the ultimate price, defending their homeland and protecting America and Europe from ISIS. Tonight, more than 10,000 ISIS militants sit in Syrian prisons under the watch of Kurdish guards. So what happens if those Kurds are forced to leave those prisons and fight the Turks? David on the ground asking about the threat of those fighters.
There are reports up to 10,000 ISIS fighters are being held by American-backed forces right now. What do you do with those fighters?
That's a really good question, and it's a tough question to get after. So we've got to get the countries to take ownership of their folks who came here into the battlefield, take them back, and figure out how to bring them to justice.
Now even bigger questions about those fighters. Ian joins us from Istanbul. And Ian, as you pointed out there, one of the major concerns are the thousands of ISIS fighters being watched, secured by our Kurdish allies. We had access to those prisons in our reporting there just weeks ago. Some of the prisoners telling us if they get out, they want to go after America. So what now? What's the concern on the ground there tonight?
Absolutely, David, a very real danger. And what makes it even worse is that the Kurdish forces are now saying that if Turkey crosses over the border, then they're going to pull back their troops from the areas around the prison, other newly liberated areas, to try and reinforce the front lines. And also this evening, General Vattel, the former head of American forces in the Middle East, writing that President Trump's decision threatens to undo 5 years' worth of fighting against ISIS and also undermine America's credibility. David?
A lot of moving parts on this as well. Ian, thank you. Back here at home tonight, a new sentencing in the college admission scandal. The first mother and father sentenced together. How long will they serve in federal prison? And tonight, the prosecutor, in a rare interview, speaking about Felicity Huffman, also set to go to prison, and his message tonight to actress Lori Loughlin. Here's Eva Pilgrim.
Tonight, a jail sentence for Greg and Marsha Abbott. A month behind bars after pleading guilty to paying $125,000 to boost their daughter's college test scores. It comes just days after the lead prosecutor in the Varsity Blues scandal talked to our affiliate, WCVB, about Felicity Huffman's recent sentence of 2 weeks behind bars.
She took responsibility almost immediately. She was contrite, did not try to minimize her conduct. I think she handled it in a very classy way.
The actress pleading guilty to paying a $15,000 bribe to have her daughter's SAT scores altered.
I think it sent a clear message to other parents involved that there really is a good chance that if you're convicted of the offense, you're going to go to prison for some period of time.
Huffman is one of 15 parents who've pled guilty. So far, 7 have been sentenced to prison time, ranging from 2 weeks to 5 months. Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, accused of paying $500,000 to get their 2 daughters into USC, are fighting the charges.
If she's convicted, we would probably ask for a higher sentence for her than we did for Felicity Huffman. I can't tell you exactly what that would be.
And that prosecutor signaling a deal is still on the table, but saying he's pushing for jail time no matter what. If they can't make a deal and this case goes to trial, he says he will ask for a tougher sentence. David.
Eva Pilgrim, thank you. Next tonight, an arrest in Dallas in the murder of a key witness in the Amber Geiger murder trial. The hunt continues for others. And tonight, what authorities are now saying about this. And the judge in the case is now speaking too. ABC's Marcus Moore, again tonight.
An urgent hunt tonight for 2 suspects wanted for the murder of Joshua Brown, a key witness in the trial of former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger. Police tonight saying Brown was killed during an alleged drug deal gone bad with 3 men, one of them shot and in custody. And they're pushing back against speculation Brown's death was tied to his testimony.
I assure you that is simply not true.
And tonight, the judge in that trial shedding light on this moment.
Can I give her a hug, please? Please.
And why she allowed the brother of Botham Jean to hug his killer.
When he said the second please, I just felt like I could not deny him this.
Judge Tammy Kemp also facing criticism for the hug she gave Geiger too.
When I looked at her and saw how she was hurting, of course I agreed to give her a hug.
She also received backlash for giving her a Bible. Wiping away tears, Judge Kemp says she would do it again.
At least one group has filed an ethics complaint over the judge giving Amber Geiger that hug and Bible. David?
All right, Marcus, our thanks to you again tonight. And next this evening to the most prolific serial killer in American history. We reported on him here last night, and tonight the FBI is now asking for your help in identifying additional victims. ABC's Steve Osunsami with FBI video tonight of the killer's chilling confessions.
North Little Rock. Tell me what that girl looked like.
Oh, man, I love her.
He is now considered the most murderous serial killer this country has ever seen. And tonight, federal authorities are posting his jailhouse confessions online, hoping to jog memories and discover clues that lead to the remains of his victims.
She was like partially concealed by the vegetation.
Samuel Little has confessed to strangling 93 women between 1970 and 2005, and the FBI believes all of his confessions are credible. Some of the bodies were never found. He was already serving a life sentence for 3 murders in the 1980s. On 60 Minutes, he was not shy about what it felt like to kill.
You know, she fighting for her life, and I'm fighting for my pleasure.
He remembered many of the details like it was yesterday and has even drawn these pictures of his victims for investigators.
Little explains that he killed sex workers or people with drug addictions because he thought they wouldn't be missed.
David?
All right, Steve Osunsami, thank you. It would appear China tonight is now strong-arming the NBA. All of this after a tweet from the general manager of the Houston Rockets supporting Hong Kong's pro-democracy protesters. China is now refusing to air NBA games. Here's Tom Yamas.
Tonight, China putting the full court press on the